You've probably killed one today without thinking about it. A quick swipe, a rolled-up newspaper, a shoe, and you felt nothing. Maybe even a small satisfaction. Problem solved. Threat eliminated. But what if the creature you just killed was older as a species than every flower on Earth? Older than birds. Older than the dinosaurs that you learned about in school and found fascinating rather than terrifying. What if it was running hydraulic machinery in its legs because evolution never gave it extensor muscles, so it moves entirely on fluid pressure, like a biological pump? What if its blood was blue, literally, chemically blue, based on copper instead of iron? What if it could hear you walking across the room before it could see you? Feel the vibration of your footsteps through the floor. Read the tension of a single silk thread the way you read a text message. What if some of them dream? The spider has been living alongside humans for our entire existence. In the corners of our homes, in the fields that feed us, in the forests we walk through. Silent, efficient, largely invisible. Today we're going to look at it properly, maybe for the first time.
Most people call spiders insects. This is a fundamental mistake. Spiders belong to the class Arachnida. Insects have 6 legs and 3 body segments. Spiders have 8 legs and 2 segments. That gap in anatomy is not a minor detail. It's the difference between a fish and a frog. Both near water, both cold-blooded, completely unrelated. The closest relatives of spiders are not flies or beetles. They are scorpions, ticks, and harvestmen. So the next time you pull a tick off your skin after a hike, you just had intimate contact with a spider's cousin. Spiders have existed for approximately 380 million years. They survived every mass extinction in Earth's history, including the one that erased the dinosaurs. When there were no flowers on this planet, no birds, no mammals, spiders were already here, already spinning silk, already hunting. Now the body. There are no extensor muscles in a spider's legs. None. 0. A spider straightens its legs entirely through hydraulic pressure, forcing fluid into the leg cavity until it extends. When the pressure drops, the leg folds back in. This is why a dead spider always lies with its legs curled inward. The moment the heart stops, the pressure drops, and the legs collapse. A living, moving spider is not a muscular animal. It is a hydraulic machine. This same system is what makes jumping spiders explode off surfaces. Not spring-loaded tendons, not fast-twitch muscle fibers. A sudden spike of internal fluid pressure, and the body fires forward. Physics, not biology, does the work. Spider blood is blue, not poetically, chemically, literally blue. Instead of iron-based hemoglobin, spiders use hemocyanin, a copper-based molecule. The copper turns the blood a pale, cold blue. Octopuses have the same system. It carries oxygen less efficiently in heat, but outperforms hemoglobin in cold, which is part of why spiders thrive at high altitudes and in climates where most cold-blooded animals struggle to survive. And the brain. In small spider species, the brain is so large relative to body size that it physically overflows into the legs. Scientists have confirmed nervous tissue distributed throughout the limbs of tiny jumping spiders. because there simply isn't enough room in the head to contain it all. A creature whose brain spills into its own legs. And yet, these same animals plan multi-step hunting routes, hold a target in memory after losing sight of it, and display what researchers carefully describe as elements of cognition. We'll come back to that.
Spider silk is, by any engineering measure, a material that shouldn't be possible. A single thread, thinner than a human hair, invisible to the naked eye in direct light, is 5 times stronger than steel of the same diameter. Not comparable to steel. Not in the same category as steel. 5 times stronger. And simultaneously elastic. It stretches up to 40% of its length before breaking. No material science laboratory on Earth has successfully combined those two properties, extreme tensile strength and extreme elasticity, in a single synthetic material. 50 years of attempts, billions of dollars in research. The spider solves it in its abdomen, on demand, continuously. Here's what makes it stranger still. The silk begins as liquid protein inside specialized glands. When the spider pulls the thread with its leg, that mechanical action, the pulling itself, triggers crystallization. The protein locks into a solid structure, not by drying, not by any chemical reaction, but purely through the physics of being stretched. The spider doesn't extrude a solid thread. It creates one by drawing it into existence. A single spider can produce up to 7 structurally distinct types of silk from different glands, each engineered for a specific purpose. One thread is sticky, loaded with microscopic glue droplets for catching prey. Another is load-bearing and non-sticky for the structural frame. A third is soft and elastic for wrapping captured prey. A fourth is dense and waterproof for the egg sac. A fifth is ultra-fine and lightweight, used by spiderlings for flight. The spider selects which gland to use the way a craftsman selects a tool, instinctively, instantly, without thought. The record belongs to a Madagascan species named after Charles Darwin, the Darwin's bark spider. Its orb web spans up to 25 meters across open river surfaces, the largest web ever recorded by science. And the silk of this species is twice as strong as any other spider silk ever measured, making it the toughest known biological material on Earth by unit weight of anything ever tested. It strings its trap directly above the water surface, using the river itself as a funnel for insects flying across it. There's one more thing about spider webs that most people never notice. They're electrically active. Spider silk carries a static electric charge. Insects, bees, flies, moths, carry their own electric charge as they fly. When a charged insect approaches a charged web, the web physically moves toward it. The threads deflect in the direction of the approaching insect by several millimeters before any contact is made. The web reaches out and grabs before the insect even arrives. The spider almost certainly has no awareness this is happening. It's pure physics, running automatically, built into the material itself. Humans have been trying to replicate spider silk industrially since the 1970s. The breakthrough came when scientists inserted the silk protein gene into goats, and the goats began producing the protein in their milk. Today,
Synthetic spider silk is manufactured in bioreactors and used in surgical sutures that dissolve over time, in scaffolding for growing replacement tissue, and is being studied by aerospace and defense industries as an ultra-lightweight armor material. The spider invented it 380 million years ago. We're still learning how it works.
The orb web, the classic spiral, the thing you picture when someone says spider, is actually used by fewer than half of all spider species. Of 48,000 known species, roughly half catch prey with no web at all. They chase, they ambush, they spit, they fish. Each method refined over millions of years of evolutionary pressure into something that looks, from the outside, like genuine strategy. The wolf spider doesn't build a trap. It hunts on foot, in open terrain, like a mammalian predator. Sharp eyesight, high speed, direct pursuit. When a wolf spider female produces an egg sac, she doesn't hide it. She attaches it to her spinnerets and carries it everywhere she goes. When the spiderlings hatch, they climb onto her back and ride there for days, while she continues hunting, moving at full speed, carrying a living, writhing mass of her own offspring. The bolus spider has developed something that belongs in a different category entirely. It doesn't build a web. Instead, it produces a single thread with a sticky globule at the end, coated in synthetic pheromones that chemically mimic the mating signal of a specific moth species. Male moths detect the scent and fly toward it. The spider swings the globule like a lasso and catches them. But here is the part that genuinely changes the scale of what we're dealing with. At different hours of the night, the same spider changes the chemical composition of its lure, switching between pheromone profiles to match different moth species that fly at different times. It is running a dynamic chemical deception operation adjusted by the hour, targeting multiple species in sequence across a single night. A spider with a brain that fits inside a body the size of a pea. The spitting spider fires at its prey from up to 30 centimeters away. Through its chelicerae, it shoots 2 zigzagging streams of venom mixed with silk, a cocktail that hits the target and instantly immobilizes it, binding it to the surface it's standing on. The spider does this without missing, in complete darkness. The entire sequence, from decision to shot, takes 1/28th of a second. Before firing, the spider closes its own eyes to protect them from the spray. Fishing spiders hunt from the water's surface, detecting vibrations from insects and small fish through surface tension, using the water itself the way other spiders use silk. Some species dive and pursue small fish underwater, holding an air supply against their bodies. The prey can be several times larger than the spider itself. Crab spiders hunt from flowers. They can shift their body color from white to yellow across several days to match the flower they're sitting on. Then they wait. Their strike is fast enough that a bee landing for nectar is paralyzed before it registers any threat. The venom works on contact instantly on an insect roughly the same size as the spider delivering it. And then there is the one exception to everything. In Central America lives Bagheera kiplingi, named after the panther from the Jungle Book. It feeds almost exclusively on specialized nutrient bodies that grow on the tips of acacia leaves. Small, protein-rich, fat-rich nodules the plant produces. Plant matter makes up around 90% of its diet. It is the only known herbivorous spider on Earth. Every other spider is a predator.
Bagheera Kiplingi looked at 380 million years of hunting evolution and decided to eat salad instead.
Every spider on Earth is venomous. Every single one, with the exception of 2 small families. Venom is not a feature of dangerous spiders. It's a defining characteristic of the entire order. It's how they hunt. But of 48,000 species, fewer than 200 pose any genuine threat to humans. That's less than half of 1%. The fear of spiders as a category of dangerous animals is, statistically, almost entirely unfounded. Almost. Because when the dangerous ones are dangerous, they are seriously dangerous. The Brazilian wandering spider, Phenutria, is the most toxic spider on Earth by venom potency. It attacks the nervous system, causes extreme pain, respiratory failure, and without treatment can kill. What makes it uniquely threatening is not just the venom, it's the behavior. This spider doesn't retreat. When threatened, it rises onto its back legs, spreads its front legs wide, and attacks. It hides in banana clusters, in fruit crates, in houses. It doesn't build a web, it wanders at night. Brazil records thousands of bites every year. Deaths are rare because antivenom is available, but the encounter itself is one of the more genuinely dangerous wildlife interactions a human can have. The black widow is the most famous venomous spider in the world, and the fame is earned. Its venom is a neurotoxin targeting neuromuscular junctions. The bite itself is almost painless, a small pinprick, easy to miss. Then, between 15 minutes and an hour later, something called latrodectism begins. Burning pain radiates outward from the bite site. Muscle cramps, severe headache, nausea, elevated blood pressure. Survivors describe the pain as something for which no comfortable position exists. A full-body experience that without treatment continues for days. With antivenom, it resolves in hours. The karakurt is the black widow's Eurasian counterpart, found in the steppes of southern Russia, Central Asia, and Crimea. Small, black, with red spots on the abdomen. Its venom is approximately 15 times more potent than a rattlesnake's by toxicity. The spider is small enough that the dose delivered in a single bite is usually insufficient to kill an adult. But the systemic effects are severe, and the primary danger is that the bite is nearly painless. The victim often doesn't realize what happened until an hour later, when the serious symptoms begin. The Sydney funnel web spider is considered by researchers to be the most dangerous spider to humans specifically, not by venom potency in absolute terms, but by the speed and specificity of its action. Its venom targets primates with unusual precision. For most other animals, it is relatively harmless. Before antivenom was introduced in 1981, 13 confirmed human deaths were attributed to it. Since antivenom became available, the number of fatalities has been 0. Now the records. The largest spider on Earth is the Goliath bird eater, a tarantula from the rainforests of Venezuela and Brazil. Body length up to 13 centimeters, leg span up to 30 centimeters, weight up to 170 grams. Despite the name, it rarely eats birds. Its actual diet is mostly insects, frogs, and small rodents. Its venom is weaker than a bee sting and poses no danger to healthy adults. What is dangerous about the Goliath is its defense mechanism. When threatened, it rubs its hind legs against its abdomen and releases thousands of microscopic barbed hairs into the air. Those hairs on skin or in eyes cause intense irritation lasting hours. The spider doesn't need venom to make you regret the encounter.
The smallest spider ever recorded, Patu digua from Samoa, has a body length of approximately 0.3 millimeters, smaller than the period at the end of this sentence, invisible to the naked eye. The fastest spider is the camel spider, technically not a true spider but a solifuge, a related arachnid, capable of reaching 16 kilometers per hour. It has no venom glands at all. What it has instead are chelicera comprising up to 1/3 of its total body length, capable of cutting through human skin and leaving wounds that, without treatment, can become infected. And the jumping spider holds the record for relative leap distance. Relative to body size, it jumps up to 50 times its own body length. For a person of average height, the equivalent would be a standing jump of 90 meters. Before every jump, it anchors a safety line to the surface. If the jump fails, it doesn't fall. It hangs and climbs back up.
Jumping spiders are curious. Not in the loose, metaphorical sense that biologists sometimes use to avoid anthropomorphism. Documented, measurable, repeatable, curious. Scientists have observed them deliberately investigating unfamiliar objects, tracking moving targets with their eyes, and turning their heads to follow a human moving across a room. When researchers pointed a camera at them, the spiders looked directly into the lens. Some individuals showed clear interest in their own reflection in a mirror. This is not normal arachnid behavior. Most spiders respond to two categories of stimulus: threat and prey. Jumping spiders respond to a third: novelty. They can also learn. In one experiment, a jumping spider was placed in a structure where it could see prey from an elevated platform, but had to descend, lose sight of the prey entirely, navigate around the structure, and climb back up on the opposite side to reach it. The spider completed the route correctly, holding the target in memory through the entire period it was invisible, and moving toward a location based on a mental model of where the prey should be. That requires working memory, the ability to hold a goal in mind when the goal is no longer directly observable. It is a capacity researchers do not typically attribute to animals with nervous systems this small. Now, something harder to explain. Scientists observing jumping spiders at night recorded something unexpected: rapid limb movements, twitching, postural shifts. A behavioral pattern that in mammals is associated with one specific thing: REM, sleep. And on the video recordings, visible through the transparent tissue of young spiders, their eyes, the retinas inside the fixed outer shell, were moving, scanning, changing direction. The researchers' cautious conclusion: spiders may experience something functionally analogous to dreaming, possibly visual replays of hunting activity, possibly something else entirely. A spider dreaming. In the corner of a room you've walked past 1,000 times. Some spiders live in colonies. Anelosemus eximius, a social spider from South America, forms settlements of up to 50,000 individuals. They build shared webs spanning several square meters, suspended over forest canopy. They hunt cooperatively, taking prey that no single spider could subdue alone. They raise offspring collectively. Adults feed any spiderlings in the colony, not only their own. For animals with a reputation as solitary ambush predators, this is startling. And then there is matriphagy. The female of Stegodipus pacificus feeds her spiderlings by regurgitating nutrient fluid
a significant energetic cost in itself. But when the brood grows large enough that her resources are insufficient, she does something else. She positions herself in the center of the group and allows her offspring to consume her. The spiderlings pierce her body and digest her from the inside. Biologically, it is optimal. The mother converts herself into the single largest meal she can provide. Every calorie she has accumulated over her lifetime transfers directly into her offspring in one final act. The process has a name: matriphagy. It is, depending on how you look at it, either the most efficient thing in nature or the most disturbing. Possibly both. Male spiders of many species perform elaborate courtship rituals before mating. The jumping spider Habronatus does this with particular intensity, vibrating its abdomen at precise frequencies, raising and waving its front legs in strict rhythm, turning sideways to display colored markings. Females watch and assess. If the performance is insufficient, she drives him away or attacks. Researchers found that females evaluate 3 parameters simultaneously: vibration rhythm, color intensity, and movement precision. The higher the synchrony across all 3, the better the male's chances. It is a multi-channel aesthetic judgment run in real time by an animal whose entire nervous system weighs a fraction of a milligram. One more behavior worth noting. Some spiders play dead. When threatened, certain species freeze and drop to the ground. The classic thanatosis response. A predator expecting flight or resistance loses interest in a motionless object and moves on. The spider lies still for as long as necessary, sometimes several minutes, then quietly walks away. And some spiders can regenerate lost limbs. Lose a leg, and at the next molt, a new one grows back. Smaller at first, but after several molts, fully restored. Vertebrate animals cannot do this. Researchers studying spider regeneration consider it one of the more promising areas of biomechanical investigation currently open. Arachnophobia is in the top 5 most common specific phobias on Earth. Scientists still debate where it comes from. The evolutionary argument: our ancestors spent millions of years in tropical environments alongside genuinely dangerous spiders. The instinctive fear was a survival mechanism, passed down generation after generation, encoded so deeply that it persists long after the actual threat has become statistically negligible for most of humanity. The cultural argument: the fear is learned in early childhood through parental reactions, books, cartoons, and becomes fixed before most children ever have a real encounter with a spider. Studies show that in households where adults respond calmly to spiders, children develop arachnophobia significantly less often. Both are probably true simultaneously. There is one famous myth worth dismantling directly: the claim that humans swallow several spiders per year in their sleep. This is complete fiction, and not accidentally. It was deliberately introduced in 1993 as a demonstration of how easily people accept absurd facts if they sound plausible and unpleasant enough. It spread globally and has never stopped circulating. The actual biology: a sleeping human produces continuous vibration from breathing, radiates heat, and exhales carbon dioxide. To a spider, these are all signals of a large living creature, which means danger. A spider will not voluntarily approach something that size, let alone enter its mouth. The myth operates entirely on disgust, which is why it works. It has nothing to do with how spiders actually behave. Now the part that gets genuinely interesting. Spider venom is one of the most actively researched areas in contemporary pharmacology. A compound isolated from Brazilian wandering spider venom has shown significant potential for treating hypertension. Compounds from Caracat venom are being investigated for cardiovascular applications. Peptides from tarantula venom are in trials as analgesics and anti-epileptic agents. And from the venom of an Australian funnel web species, researchers have isolated a protein that appears to protect neurons from damage during stroke, if administered within hours of the event. It has been described as one of the most promising findings in neurology in recent years. The creatures we kill with rolled newspapers are producing molecules our pharmaceutical industry cannot yet synthesize. Spiders have also driven engineering in directions that would not have been reached otherwise. The structure of orb webs has become a reference model for designing ultra-strong suspension bridge cables. The adhesion mechanism of spider feet, which allows them to walk on any surface without sticking permanently, has been replicated in the development of reusable adhesives that can be applied and removed thousands of times without degradation. Spider vibration sensitivity has inspired a new generation of seismic sensors. And spiders have been to space. In 1973, two cross spiders, Arabella and Anita, lived aboard the Skylab space station. The experiment was simple. Could spiders spin webs in microgravity? The first day, the webs were irregular, distorted, structurally wrong. By the second day, Arabella was producing normal, geometrically correct orb webs, slightly thinner than on Earth, but properly formed. The spider adapted to a gravitational condition that had never existed in its 380 million years of evolution. It took one day. By the estimates of researchers who study ecosystem dynamics, all spiders on Earth collectively consume between 400 and 800 million tons of insects per year. That number is larger than the total weight of every human being alive. Without that predation pressure, insect pest populations would increase beyond anything conventional pesticides could manage. The agricultural systems that feed 8 billion people depend, in ways that are invisible and taken entirely for granted, on spiders doing what they have always done. The spider in the corner of your room is not a problem. It has no interest in you. It is not venomous in any way that matters. It is consuming the flies and mosquitoes you never noticed, running silently, continuously, for free, as it has been doing in human dwellings for as long as humans have had dwellings. It has no ears, but it hears. No nose, but it detects scent through receptors on its legs. No tongue, but it reads the chemical composition of every surface it walks across. It experiences the world through 8 limbs that are simultaneously legs, ears, nose, and fingertips. 380 million years old. Survivor of everything. Living in your ceiling. And we've barely started to understand it.
If this video changed the way you see the world around you, leave a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit like. It takes 1 second and helps the channel more than you think. See you in the next one.